Imagine that there are two types of work that you do. There's work that we will call work number one, and this work is work that has big potential consequences. If you do this and you do it well, it makes a big difference in your life, your family, and everything else. The other type of work you do is what we call work number two, and this work has no potential consequences. So the first category of work moves you toward your most important goals faster than anything else. This other type of work does not move you towards your goals, and even worse, it moves you away from your goals. Examples of time that you waste doing things of no value. Here's a simple way to become one of the highest paid and most productive people in society. Do only number one tasks. Do only those things that are moving you every day toward the goals that you say you want to achieve. You want to earn more money, be happier, be healthier, move up in your business, have a nice house, set a car, travel, only do those things all day long. If you only do those things all day long, if you only do those things, the things that have great potential consequences, it transforms your life. Here's another discovery. 95% of what you do comes from habit. And if you do something repeatedly over and over again, what do you develop? A new habit. You develop a new habit. You've heard the rule, the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle. The top 20 of salespeople make 80 of the sales, and the bottom 80 salespeople make 20 of the salespeople, make 20 of the sales. Do you know what the difference in the ratio is? The ratio is the difference between 16 to 1. The average income of people in the top 20 is 16 times the average income of the people in the bottom 80. Now, let me ask you a question. Does it mean the people in the top 20 are 16 times better than the people in the bottom 80, 16 times more experienced? Do they work 16 times the number of hours? Do they have 16 times the number of years of education? Are they 16 times more handsome? Are they 16 times anything? You know that it's not humanly possible to be twice as smart as somebody else unless you're looking at very, very unintelligent people and very, very brilliant people. But there's really not humanly possible, on average, for us to even be twice as smart as anybody else. Yet 20 of these people are making 16 times the average of the rest in our society. It is a lot of controversy, or why should I work so hard for my job? The fact of the matter is that less than 5 really succeed. That's less than 5 of the population really succeeding in life. If you have 100 people working today, only 1 will be wealthy when they retire. 4 will be financially independent. 15 will have some savings. 80% will be broke and dependent upon charities and pensions. Only 1 or 2% of people in each generation really make it in life. And in every single study, those people who make it are those who work hard, 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 hard. And if you think that it's hard to be successful, try being a failure. Try coming to the end of the trail with no money, dependent upon pensions, and you don't know what hard is until you try living like that. But if you work hard, the average millionaire in America works 12 to 13 hours a day, works about 60 to 65 hours a day, works about 60 to 65 hours a week. I'll tell you this with regard to hard work. You in our society only work 8 hours a day for survival. Everything over 8 hours is for success. And if you're only working 8 hours a day, you're in trouble. If you're only working 8 hours a day, you better have a rich uncle, or you better have somebody else who's going to take care of you, because 8 hours a day only gets you survival in our society. Because it's so competitive that somebody else is working 9. They've got an edge on you. Somebody else is working 10. They've got a bigger edge on you. Every hour or 8 that you invest is an investment in your future, is an investment in your future, is an investment in your success. And if you put in the hours over 8, whether it's studying or reading or working, if you put in the hours, it will pay off. And it will pay off in spades. It's like throwing seed in the ground. When you throw a seed in the ground, the plant that comes up is not just one seed. It's hundreds of seeds. There's a crop that you put in, but you must put the seed in the ground first. The market only pays excellent rewards for excellent performance. It pays average rewards for average performance. It pays below average rewards for below average performance. And I talk to men and women all over America who are unhappy and they're sad and they don't like their work. And you know why? It's because they're not good at what they're doing. So your earning ability is the most powerful and most valuable financial asset you have. And your earning ability, by definition, is your ability to get results that people will pay you for. Now, this doesn't mean that you are not a valuable person. Each human being is of incredible value. But some people's earning ability is much higher than others, and your earning ability is an asset. So it can be either increasing in value or decreasing in value or decreasing in value. Now, here's what they study. Here's what they found in the studies, the 80-20 rule. They found that the bottom 80% of people, the ones who struggle for money and worry about money all their lives, these people, when they take their first job, will work to a certain level and then they will level off and never improve for the rest of their lives unless they're forced to. And so, therefore, 10 years after starting work, the average person today is no more productive at getting results than they were after 1 year. But they find that the people in the top 20% are very different. The people in the bottom 80% increase their income about 2 or 3% per year over the years. In the top 20% increase their income at an average of about 11% per year. If your income goes up 11% per year, you will double your income every 6 or 7 years, and then you will double it again, and then you'll double it again, and then you'll double it again. And soon you'll live in a beautiful house, and you'll drive a nice car, and you'll send your children to private schools, and you'll have a nice bank account, and you'll be happy. But if you don't keep increasing your income, nothing good will happen. Now, what is the difference? The answer is the people in the bottom 80 don't learn anymore after they leave school. But the people in the top 20 are always learning new things. And as a result, they are increasing their earning ability. People in the top 10% in every field think in terms of their hourly rate. How much I earn each hour. Now, this change in thinking changes your entire life. I know because I've taught this principle to thousands of people who literally transform their lives and their incomes almost overnight. If you think in terms of how much you earn in a week or a month, well, then you have a natural tendency to waste time during the day. Monday is a slow day. You're recovering from the weekend. Tuesday, you start to work. Wednesday, the week is almost over. Thursday, you start to slow down. And now it's Friday. Who gets anything done on Friday? We'll do it on Monday. And so people's ability to produce drops, and drops. And since 80% of the population thinks like this, if you're not careful, you'll find you are surrounded by people who waste time. So when you start thinking in terms of your hourly rate, it transforms your life. Poor folks have poor ways, and it's really hard to get over poor folks have poor ways. Always remember that poor folks have poor ways. They think poor, they think cheap, they think saving, they think spending as little as possible, they think a little money they have. But you find that successful people have successful thinking. They think very, very differently than poor people. And so remember that poor folks have poor ways, but rich folks have rich ways. It's because people who make a lot of money, my friend Jim Rohn said, he said the most important part of becoming a millionaire is not the money, but it's the person you have to become a millionaire. You have to become a totally different person to go from zero to being worth more than $1 million. But the good news is that if you lost all of your money because of a crash in the economy or something else, you can make it all back again, because now you're the kind of person who can make it. Once you become a millionaire in your thinking, then it's only a matter of time before you quickly restore that amount of money in your reality. So the starting point is to change our thinking, which we have said over and over again, and I've written extensively on this. For the path of least resistance is a really big killer. What it is the tendency to look for the easy way, the fast way, the cheap way, the method of least effort or least cost to achieve things. And what we have in our society today, which is as a result of several generations of affluence, is we have an enormous number of people who are literally addicted to the shortcut, the easy way, the fast, quick way. There's an old saying with regard to these get rich quick schemes: when a man with experience meets a man with money, the man with money is going to end up with the experience, and the man with experience will end up with the money. So you'll find that the newspapers and magazines and television are all full of get rich quick schemes, because there's always people who think it's possible to get rich quick, get rich easy. All you have to do is find a trick or a gimmick. And there's an enormous number of people who say rich people are just people who are lucky. You know, they just had a gimmick. They just had a trick. The fact is that the rich have been studied at great length. It takes about 22 years from the time you decide to become a millionaire before you hit $1 million net worth, including your house. I think it's about 22 years on average, based on the studies of many thousands and tens of thousands of self-made millionaires. People say, wow, that's a long time. If it is, get on with it. So people start at 20, by the age of 42, they're millionaires. By the age of 45, they're dual millionaires. By the age of 55, because as we say, the first million is hard, the second 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 million is inevitable. And so what you do is you have to make the first million. Why is that? Because you have to become a very different, disciplined, higher form of human being to actually make such a contribution that you actually earn and hold on to more than $1 million. It forces you to become somebody really different than you've ever been before. Financial freedom is a real big issue today. Financial freedom means that you don't worry about money. Worries about money, by the way, are the #1 reason for marital breakdown. Worries, disagreements, arguments over money. So if you have problems with money, they affect your relationship. You have problems with your relationship, they affect your health. If they have problems with your health, it affects your peace of mind. And money is a major issue. We've been living through the most affluent country in the most affluent time in all of human history. For the last 50 years, we've grown up in a level of affluence that is unimaginable for 95% of the world. And we have come to believe that this is what we're entitled to. You grow up in America, you're entitled to a fat life. One of the things that is leading to major social disruptions is a lot of people are finding that it's not true anymore. It's today, if you want to be financially successful, you're going to have to work very hard. You're going to have to get up early and hit it hard and work all day and work into the evening. You're going to have to work 6 days a week. There's no 6, no wealthy people who work 5 days a week. 0, nada, none. There's no successful people who work 5 days a week, because if you work 5 days a week, you actually only work about 4. You start late, you leave early, and you waste time all day long. Successful people work long days and they work into the weekend. However, they're doing something they enjoy and they're doing something they get tremendous satisfaction from because they're making progress, and as a result, it's really not work. You know the old rule, I found something I love to do and I never worked again the rest of my life. I worked 7 days a week, but I never worked a day. And you'll find that when you do that, which you will before we are finished, when you start to find what it is that you would love to do and put your whole heart into it, you never work again. And you get paid more than you ever dreamed of, and you don't even care. You don't even count the money anymore because you're just getting so much satisfaction from using yourself at the very highest level. And so financial freedom, this is something we people have to start thinking about. The worst thing you can do today is to be in debt. As you know, as they say, the debt comes and goes, but the interest payments stay forever. And it's the interest that kills you. It's the constant payment. Look at that. So one of our goals is to achieve financial freedom, and this isn't something that happens by accident. We don't say, well, geez, I got show up. I'm financially free this morning. No, but what we have to do is we have to sit down and make a plan, and we have to work on it for a long time. It's not something you can do once. It's something you need to do throughout your career. And too many people today are deeply in debt. You know, 70% of Americans live from paycheck to paycheck. 70% of Americans, what that means is that they have no money, they have no reserves. The average American family at the age of 40 for the major breadwinner has a total net worth of about $40,000, and that's including the equity in their home. At the age of 60, they have a net worth of about $62,000, an average of about $1,000 a year. Most people without pensions, that's why there's so much political controversy. Without pensions, most people would be destitute. They'd be impoverished because they have nothing. 70% have nothing. Why? It's not because they haven't earned a lot of money. Do you know that if you saved $100 a month for your entire working lifetime, you'd be worth more than $1 million when you retire? $100 a month. If somebody put a gun to your head, could you save $100 a month? Yes, if your whole future depended upon it, could you just save $100 a month? Well, it does. And people don't even say that. They spend it. They buy stuff they don't need to impress people they don't like. So here's where we start with our entrepreneurs. We say there are 4 keys. One is to clarify. Clarity is 95% of your success. Be absolutely clear about who you are, what you want, and your goals. Second is to simplify. Strip out and get rid of all the extraneous things in your life that are bogging you down. Number 3 is to maximize, and maximize is to take your special talents, abilities, and opportunities and really develop them to a high level. Number 4 is to multiply, and that is to leverage your talents and abilities. So here's the definition. We say clarify is developing absolute clarity about who you are. One of the things we do is we help people take assessments to determine who they are, what they like to do, what they're supposed to be doing. And we find that if you're in the wrong career for you, you'll never have any excitement about it. You'll never have any desire to get better at it. But if you change and you start doing what is right for you, you suddenly come alive. You become excited about what you're doing. So who you are, what you want, and the best way to achieve it? Clarity, clarity, clarity. Second is to simplify. Simplify. Simplify means to delegate, outsource, and eliminate low value, no value tasks and activities in your life. In other words, look at the things you do in your life that contribute very little to your success, but you keep doing them anyway. You'll find that about 80% of your life is trivia. Remember the 80-20 rule? 20% of what you do accounts for 80% of your results, success, rewards, satisfaction, happiness, joy. Everything is in the top 20%, which means the bottom 80%, which means the bottom 80% could be cut out completely and have no negative effect on your life. What do most people spend most of their time on? Bottom 80%. You know, television watching. Since the last time we did this conference, this seminar just a few months ago, at that time it was 150 hours a month for the average adult in America. It's up to 158 hours in less than a year. The average American is watching 5.5 to 6 hours, over 5 hours of television per day. The average non-adult is on social media 5 hours a day. Television watching, by the way, for young people is dropping dramatically. The networks are going bonkers. But it's older people who are not high techs. They watch television 5 hours a day. Just imagine if you took 2 of those hours and you read something worthwhile, you'd be rich in a few years. Television makes you poor. They did an interesting study. They took people from socioeconomic categories, Wall Street Journal. They found as you went down the socioeconomic categories to the poorest of the poor, they had no books in their homes and the biggest televisions they could afford. As you went up to the top, and they watched about 7 hours of television a day. As they began to go up in terms of income, television watching decreased until they got to the top 5 or 10%. These people very seldom watch television. They would pre-record something and watch it at their leisure later on in the evenings or on the weekends. Very seldom watched television, and their homes were full. So if you wanted to get into the top 10%, what you do is you have to do things at the top 10% of people do. Every year, about 1.5% of the population starts work for the first time. They take their first job as adults. And so it's like a big marathon. It's a big race, and everyone lines up, and the gun goes off, bang, and everybody starts to run. Then, just like a marathon, some people get way ahead, in this case in the earnings race. The great majority stay in the middle, and some people fall well behind. So they just finished a 25-year study, which I think is one of the great studies on success that's ever been done. They ask, how is it that these people can be earning so much money in a paycheck? They're receiving a pay of almost $1 million a month for going to work, and if they lost their job for any reason, another company would hire them immediately and pay them $10 million a year. How can this happen? So these researchers at a major university went back and they said, well, these people must be very intelligent. They must have special gifts. They must have set special qualities or talents that could enable them to be so successful in life. So they went back and looked at their school records and the records at their first job and their second job. You know what they found? These people were just average even when they started off their work life. They didn't look any different from anyone else. They were just average. But then they all started to practice a single strategy, and this is the strategy that will change your life and your career forever. It's so simple, you can't believe it. When these people took their first job, the first thing they would do is they would go to their boss and say, boss, I want to make a valuable contribution in this work, and I want to be successful in this company. What one skill would help me the most to be more successful and make a more valuable contribution? And the boss would say, well, if you were very good at negotiating, team building, selling, or reading financial statements, if you were really good at this, then you would be much more valuable than an average person. So they would say, okay, and they would write down the development of that skill as a goal, just like a lesson plan for a subject in school. They would go to work and they would work on this one skill like a sniper rather than a machine gunner. They would work on a single skill and it might take them a month. Then it might take them a month, and it might take them 3 months, and it might take them a year, but they would work every day on that skill. And here's the magic number. 2 hours per day, 5 days per week, 10 hours in all. 2 hours per day of personal study, a single skill, 5 days per week. Knowledge and skill today are vital to your success. Knowledge and skill equal earning ability. Your knowledge and your ability to apply that vital knowledge to accomplishing a result for which customers are willing to pay, it's critical. People who get laid off don't understand that they have not kept their knowledge and skill high enough to justify their earnings, but they are becoming obsolete faster than ever before. I think that means that a job today can become obsolete in a week, a month, a year. New technology can obsolete an entire industry in a couple of years. So one of the questions you need to ask yourself all the time is this: what is your next career going to be? And here's the quick question: what do you have to do now to bring your skills up to the point so that you can earn the kind of living and have the kind of lifestyle that you want in your next career? The key to your next career is personal excellence. It's to get to the top of the heap where you are now. Get to the top of the field and then stay at the top of the field to maintain and improve your lifestyle. What do you have to do? What do you have to be? Here's a good question. It's one of my favorites of all questions. Ask yourself, what one skill or set of skills could you develop that, if you became absolutely excellent at, would have the greatest positive impact on your future? Point skill, or what one set of skills, if you could develop them and become absolutely excellent at them, would have the greatest positive impact on your future? Your job is to define that. Ask your boss what it might be if necessary. Do everything possible to find out and then develop those skills. Now, if you do not become a master of change, then you have no choice but to become a victim of change. If you don't become a master of circumstances, you become a creature of circumstances. You simply are buffeted about on seas of life. Throughout everything that we've talked about with regard to earning ability, with regard to fast tracking your career, with regard to you fulfilling your potential and becoming everything that you're capable of becoming, the critical point is continuous learning. I cannot tell you how important this is. I meet people all over the world who come to America and come here with nothing. And as a result of continuous learning, they're able to accomplish wonderful things and make great lives for themselves. So take charge of your life. See yourself as the president of your own company. See yourself as a leader. Set the standard in your world. Set the standard in your world. Set the standard for your children if you want your children to have a great life. You create a great life by dedicating yourself to continuous learning as well. See yourself as a role model, as all leaders do. Set high standards for yourself and work every single day to maintain and increase and improve your earning ability. So there are 168 hours in a week. Everywhere now, what we're saying is that if you want to go to the top of your field and be one of the highest paid and most successful people in life, take 10 of those hours and invest them in yourself, that's all. And this turned out to be the strategy practiced by all the top people. I have worked with the presidents of some of the biggest companies in the world, and they spent 2 to 3 hours each week reading and upgrading their skills. Do you know who the third richest man in the world is? It's a man named Warren Buffett. Last year, his total investments are worth $350 billion, the third or fourth largest single company in the United States, one of the biggest companies in the world. Last year, his profits were $25 billion. By the way, $25 billion is good. That's a good amount for one person to grow a company that generates $25 billion in profits. Warren Buffett has the same schedule almost every day. What he does is he comes to work and he spends 80% of his time studying and reading in the subjects relative to his business. Only 20% is in meetings or phone calls or anything else. He spends 80% of his time learning new things so he can make better decisions and get better results. So a question I sometimes ask adults is, how many hours a week do you spend studying new subjects to help increase your productivity and your value? So they found that these experts, these highly paid people, looked upon earning ability like a ladder. A ladder has steps, and each step is a skill. When you learn a new skill, you increase your earning ability. Also, you increase your ability to use your other skills, and each time you learn a new skill, your earning ability goes up. When you learn a new skill, your earning ability goes up, and each new skill you learn causes you to become more and more valuable. And people will pay you more and more money for the results that you can get for them. Now, if at any given time you decide to stop climbing the ladder of success, you will level off like most people do. But then you will begin to decline because whatever skills you have are becoming obsolete at a rapid rate, and they're becoming obsolete faster today than ever before. So if you are not constantly moving up the ladder, you're actually moving down the ladder, and people don't understand why their income is not going up. It's because they're not becoming more productive. They are not learning new skills. They're not working on themselves to become more successful. So increasing your earning ability is the strategy used by the highest paid people in the world today. Every week, they spend 10 hours or more studying a new skill, the one skill that can help them the most. They keep climbing that ladder and it just becomes a habit, a part of their life, just like a part of your life, maybe watching television or playing sports or something else. A part of their life is learning all the time. It's your ability to focus single-mindedly on one thing at a time and to work on that one task until it's complete, and to discipline yourself not to do anything else or to become distracted by emails and bells and beeps and noises and things like that. It's just the ability to focus like a laser beam on a single task. Napoleon Hill did a subsequent book to his book, Think and Grow Rich. It was called The Master Key to Riches. And after 260 pages, he gives you the answer. The Master Key to Riches. So in the first paragraph, he explains, in this book, you will learn the Master Key to Riches. The most successful people have come to that conclusion as well, that self-discipline is the master key to success. A friend of mine wrote a best-selling book a couple of years ago, and basically what it said is whatever got you to where you are today is not enough to keep you there today. To go any further, you must develop new skills. And how long does this go on? All your life, for the rest of your life. When you are surrounded by rapid changes in information and technology and competition and government policies, as long as there is rapid change going on outside of you, there must be rapid change and even faster change going on inside of you if you want to be successful. So the top people are the ones who keep learning new skills all the time. They say, everything is hard before it's easy, and everything at the beginning is difficult, but later becomes easy and automatic. You have to force yourself to discipline yourself at the beginning, but after that, it becomes easier and easier, and you actually feel happy. Now, here's the most wonderful thing. When you discipline yourself to start and complete a task or a part of a task, you feel like an athlete. So here's my question. If an athlete runs in a race and comes in first, what do they call this person? The winner. Exactly, I've studied this hundreds, thousands of hours. what it says is that when you win, when you come in as the winner, your body releases endorphins, which are called nature's happy drug. They make you happy, and dopamine, which is a form of energy that you get from a positive experience. So when you complete a task, your body releases these drugs and you feel happy. So they call it nature. The psychologists call it nature's happy drug. If you want to be happy, just start and complete a task and you get a zip. Well, wow, you feel happy. In fact, in some of my seminars, I say, here's a question for you. What are you learning today? Right? In other words, what is the subject that you are working on today? And what you should do is you should ask people at the break, what is your subject today? What is your subject today? What are you working on? What are you learning about today?
I'm so glad you're here because it means that you've chosen to take a crucial step toward the success you always dreamed of. During this first video, I'm going to discuss the rules for peak performance, the science, and the system behind success. When we're through today, you'll understand that success is a science and you can create your own. As human beings, we have a success instinct, but most people don't realize that they can actually predict their own level of success. So why are some people more successful than others? If you're watching this video, chances are you want to improve your quality of life. You're tired of looking at your friends or acquaintances and even strangers and wondering what they've done differently or better than you have to experience a better quality of life. There's nothing will make you madder than to meet somebody who's dumber than you, who's making more money than you. They have more money, nicer lives, better health, better jobs, better businesses, better homes, and better families, and you know that they're no better, smarter, or more talented than you are. Why is this? Let me start by telling you what doesn't set them apart. It's not their IQ, their childhood, or their ability to network. So what does set the ultra-successful person apart from the mediocre? While it may have seemed like mystery and chance in the past, there's actually a science to success. And when you apply the scientific principles to your own life, you can learn to operate at peak performance and set yourself up for predictable, automatic success in every area of your life. Your personal life, your family, your income, your business. Here's the best way to define success. The most important thing you can do is to decide exactly what success means to you. What would your life look like if you made it into a masterpiece? All great achievement begins with your decision of what it is you really want and then dedicating yourself wholeheartedly to attaining it. There are 7 desires or goals that we all have in common. The first and easily the most important is peace of mind. You'll find that you can evaluate how well you're doing at any given time in your life by how much inner peace you enjoy. If for any reason you compromise your values or go against that little voice inside, your peace of mind is the first thing to suffer. The second common desire we all have is that we all want to be healthy and have high levels of energy. Just as peace of mind is your natural mental state, your health and energy is your natural and normal physical state. In health, you find your true energy and radiance. If you achieve all kinds of things in the material world but have the absence of health, you'll never get any pleasure from your other accomplishments. Now, the third ingredient of success is happy relationships with people you love and people who love and care about you. In fact, your ability to enter into and maintain long-term relationships is the essence of your personality. It demonstrates the way that you get along with others and the way that they get along with you. Now, the fourth ingredient of success is financial freedom. Financial freedom means that you're making enough money so that you don't have to think about it continually, or, best of all, that you never think about it at all. Most people worry about money all the time, and that's a lousy way to live. Nearly 80% of the population is preoccupied with money problems. They think about it when they wake up, and they think about it during the day, and they think about it when they go to sleep at night, and sometimes it keeps them awake at night. The only way for you to achieve financial freedom is for you to define your financial goals clearly and then make plans to achieve those goals. The fifth ingredient of success is having worthy goals and ideals. You need to feel that your life stands for something, that you're making a valuable contribution to the world. Self-awareness is the sixth ingredient of success. Now, self-awareness is a critical part of mental health. This is how you discover why you react and respond the way you do to people and situations around you. Successful people understand themselves and why they think and feel the way they do, and that's one of the things that you learn. When you can understand and accept yourself, you can begin moving forward in other areas of your life. The seventh ingredient of success is personal fulfillment, what Abraham Maslow called self-actualization. This is the feeling that you are becoming everything that you're capable of becoming, that you're realizing your full potential for happy living. When you have the courage to decide exactly what you want, you begin the process of unlocking your hidden powers to succeed. Now, there are three essential results or benefits of success. The first benefit of success is that you'll start to see your self-esteem rise. You'll like yourself more. You'll feel more valuable and important. The second benefit is that you'll achieve a level of self-respect that you may never have had before. You'll really see yourself as an outstanding person. And finally, the third measure of success is you'll take tremendous personal pride in who you are and what you're capable of doing. There are 7 rules for peak performance. The first rule is that your life only gets better when you get better. The second rule is that it doesn't matter where you're coming from. All that really matters is where you're going. The third key to success is anything worth doing is worth doing poorly at first. And often it's worth doing poorly many times until you master the task or activity. The fourth rule is that you can learn anything you need to learn to achieve any goal you can set for yourself. All success skills are learnable. All business skills are learnable. All money-making skills are learnable. Everyone who is good at them today was at one time terrible at them and could not do them at all. And what hundreds of thousands and millions of other people have learned, you can learn as well. The fifth rule for success is that you are only as free as your options. You're only as free as your well-developed alternatives. If you didn't do this, you could do that. If you didn't do that, you could do this, because you have a wide range of skills and possibilities. The sixth rule for peak performance is that within every difficulty you face is the seed of an equal or greater benefit or opportunity. The seventh and final rule for success is that the only real limits on what you can do are self-imposed. You see, there's no limits on the outside. The limits always exist on the inside. Once you master the 7 rules for peak performance, you're well on your way to living among those you may have previously envied. You're well on your way to experiencing everything you ever dreamed of, to living a life of ultra success, however you define it.